So Google has launched their most intelligent AI as of yet, and it seems to be beating every other AI model that's out there. We're going to be asking you some coding questions, some deep reasoning questions. We're going to be reviewing what people are saying about it on Twitter. So this is what we're working with on the charts. It seems to beat every model on most of the benchmarks, particularly mathematics, coding, and science. Obviously in few of these it does lag, but that being said, the hype that it has, it's like it's the next big thing. So this user on Twitter made a whole 3D car simulator from scratch using Gemini 2.5. He wanted to make sure that it does work on mobile. So as far as the code is concerned, it does look quite thoughtfully put together. Also, the game does look pretty playable. One user on Twitter posted this comparison between Gemini 2.5 and GPT-01 Pro. And it's the same game puzzle that we used to play. The balls going around in a circle. So a lot more smooth of a operation as far as Google is concerned. A little bit more paced in GPT-01, considering they both are going with the same prompt. I feel Gemini is doing a little bit better. Not really sure what's going on here. The ball bouncing inside a spinning hexagon. Then we can adjust the params as we want, such as gravity and the speed and whatnot. So once you change the gravity or the friction or the speed, this changes the whole flow of the system at runtime. So it's quite a good job that Gemini 2.5 is able to achieve it and able to handle all the scenarios of this flow. And guys, if you're into AI related stuff, do like and subscribe. So you can access it by using Google's AI Studio and selecting the model on the right. We're going to start off with a basic prompt. Build a to-do list app just to see the look and feel of it. So you can see the whole thinking process of it like any other reasoning model. So it's understanding the core request, reflecting on adding and deleting tasks. Also, it's talking about whether it should use SQL or no SQL or local storage. So that's quite deep thinking at deep levels. Here we go. We do get the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript by default, but as separate files. What I'll do is I'll copy and paste them on LiveVieve, an online platform which lets you run basic HTML, JavaScript, and CSS to see what it does. So it seems to be working fine. The task gets added, also gets deleted. If we add multiple tasks, they work fine too. Next up, I'll ask it to make me a endless runner game. So it's thinking about player obstacles, collision, the restart game option. Here we go, we got the files. So we'll copy and paste them in LiveVieve. There we go, it jumps. It seems to be working fine. And on the collision, the game does end. Next up, I'll ask it to make me a Minecraft game. So we got the code, we'll copy and paste it into LiveVieve. We're gonna put the HTML in the HTML section, the CSS on the downward section, and then on the right is the JavaScript section. It doesn't really seem to be working. I can select the blocks, but I can't really paint them on the board. So I'm not really sure what's going on here, because I did the exact same thing with Claude 3.5 Sonnet and it worked on the first try. I remember that. So what I'll do is I'll ask it to correct it. So after thinking for a little bit, it's giving me reasons for how to troubleshoot. Now, I don't really want to sit here debugging the code, what I was to fix. I'll ask it to correct it one more time. So no, it's not really doing it. What I'll do is I'll ask Claude 3.5 Sonnet to do the same thing. So I'll just copy and paste the prompt there. Here we go, the Claude generated the code. Not only that, it runs on their canvas directly and it works like a charm. The thing is, the surprising thing is, it's not even Claude 3.5 Sonnet. It's the previous version, the Haiku version that we were working with. So in this video, the guy goes over how in his Python project, there were a bunch of these errors that Gemini 2.5 helped to resolve, and he basically gave the library and the SDK documentation to Gemini 2.5, and it helped him not only fix but implement his project. So this is something quite remarkable. Gemini's ability to be able to read documentations and then apply that same logic or the contextual logic directly in code and then resolve the problems is just remarkable stuff. So a lot of these visual graphs or plots seem to be coming. Not really sure what's the point of these, but I guess to each their own. I feel it does do a good job in plotting these graphs. It does good with deep analytics and deep charts and stuff. Another comparison between Gemini and DeepSeek, where the user says that DeepSeek did a better job in designing his landing page. So a lot of comparisons being made, a lot of back and forth between GPTs and Gemini and now DeepSeeks. So I guess to each their own, but I felt that the hype of DeepSeek, the hype of Gemini was a little bit more. So for the next prompt, I'll ask a deep reasoning question. It's a trick question about two prisoners. If any one of them speaks, the second one gets more of a punishment, and if none of them do, they both get each punishment. But if they both do, they both get 2 years in. So as far as I can tell with Gemini, it's not really answering the question, it's just giving out all the possible scenarios, but I kinda wanted more of a direct answer. Like I kinda wanted, what should the prisoners be doing? But again, I feel they both should have stayed silent. That's a paradox. But Gemini didn't really quite give me a direct answer, it just gave me all the scenarios. Next up, I'll ask it to write an article about implications of AI in daily life, its privacy concerns and all that stuff. I'll also give the same prompt to ChatGPT just to compare both of these. So Gemini did present it in all subheadings, but the only thing lacking is it didn't really add any references or stats without me telling it to. If I check the words count, it is 1400. And if I check ChatGPT's, it's 800, so that's a big difference. Not really sure what to make of it. I showed you my generations. That being said, I didn't go into that big of a detail like others were on Twitter. They were generating car games, flight simulators, but I did try some of the stuff. It did glitch on my Minecraft game, but Claude did it in one go. So I'll leave it up to you. Let me know what you think.